Presuppositions. Presuppositions in the MILTON model are part of the distortion category. And if you remember, distortion is also about fantasy, games, playing. I think with this particular section, presuppositions, that is very important, as you will come to discover further on in this video. Presuppositions are assumptions or working hypotheses. Some of these work well for us and some do not. We all come to life with different presuppositions, that is, different assumptions and different working hypotheses. And these things tend to be proved true to us as we go through our lives. So what I'm really talking about is, what do I hold as true? It's a very big subject. And this is where people might start to say, aha, now I'm going to learn the tricks of the MILTON model. Am I now able to make people do stuff? Can I get sneaky? This is where all those words come up. But the truth is, although indirect, there is no reason why presuppositions can't operate in a respectful way, which is certainly the way that I think it's important to use the MILTON model. In this video, there's 7 technical names for different types of presuppositions, with 1 or 2 examples of each one. Type 1 is subordinate clauses of time. This is where we might use the words before, after, while, during, prior, when, or as soon as. So remember, this is about an assumption or a presupposition that we are bringing to the conversation. So the kind of thing I might say to a client would be something like, feel free to move around while we chat. Just say that again. Feel free to move around while we chat. So if you can hear, what I'm doing is I'm saying you don't have to be still, you can move around, but I am assuming that we will chat. And if a client comes to me to speak to me, I think that's a fair assumption that we will chat. So I'm not saying, do you want to chat? I'm assuming that we're doing that. And I'm offering an option of moving around or not moving around while we do it. So that's a subordinate clause of time. Type 2 of ordinal numbers is first, second, third, last, that kind of thing. About the ordinal number, including last or finally, a word like that. So, let's say I'm talking to somebody who has a problem leaving the house, perhaps, following lockdown, and that's a possibility. I might say something like, well, what's the last thing that you usually do before you leave the house? So just like I was explaining with the last one, I am assuming that this person is able to leave the house. And I'm asking, what's the last thing you do before you leave? I'm using an ordinal number, and it's that type 2 of presuppositions. Type 3 of presuppositions is the use of the word or, that is OR. OR in the sense of either or. So for example, with a child where we want that child to clean their teeth, we might say something like, you could clean your teeth every morning before or after breakfast. So you can choose whether it's before breakfast or whether it's after breakfast, but I'm not giving you a choice about whether you're going to clean your teeth or not. Do you see what I mean? Now, that's the sort of one, or where people think that I'm going to do something dodgy, because that's where those dodgy sales techniques, you know, would you like to sign the order form now or later? You know, it's that's that dodgy side of it comes in there. But I'm saying, no, sometimes we don't want to offer people a choice. I don't want to offer my child a choice of whether they clean their teeth or not. I want them to do it. But I don't mind offering them a choice about exactly when they do it. So I think that's where the integrity of this kind of thing comes in. Type 4 presuppositions is awareness predicates. A predicate is something that comes before. So awareness predicates examples would be notice, realise, know, become aware of. So for example, you may know more about solving this problem than you realise. You may know more about solving this problem than you realise. Not trying to trick somebody, I'm saying, in my experience, I think it's actually quite likely that you already know quite a lot about solving this problem. So you may know more about solving this problem than you realise. Type 5 is about adverbs and adjectives. So, for example, how quickly can you get to that tree? How quickly can you get to that tree? So, it's a bit like the teeth cleaning. If I'm encouraging somebody to take exercise, I'm suggesting, how about that tree over there? How quickly can you get there? So I'm making the assumption that they can reach the tree, but perhaps because I don't know exactly their level of fitness and I'm wanting to encourage them towards fitness, I might say something like, how quickly can you get to that tree over there? So I'm using the adverb quickly, but I'm not allowing a questioning of getting to the tree. Type 6, and now we have two more. Type 6 is verbs and adverbs related to time. So for example, begin, end, start, stop, continue, proceed, and including that word yet. So for example, we haven't solved it yet. So I'm thinking about that problem that we haven't solved yet. So I'm making an assumption that the problem will be solved. And another thing that's important to do with time, I think, is if I've just been working with a client and we've done some work which suggests that their problem is now solved, then I can say with integrity, that problem you had. And it's important that I do make sure that that problem is put in the past and that I'm making an assumption that they no longer have it. The final type of presuppositions for this video, type 7, is commentary using adverbs. So adverbs tend to be words ending in ly. So for example, luckily, obviously, happily. And when an adverb is used in this way, everything that follows the adverb is presupposed. So I might say in a training context, luckily you already know about this. Or fortunately you already know about this. Or happily you already know about this. Or obviously you've heard this before. I'd like to remind you that at Zetetic we have a rigor model, R-I-G-E-R. We like to recover information and generate experiential richness, using the kind of respect, curiosity and rapport that Milton Erickson would have used. If you like this video, please like it. If you want to comment or ask a question, I would be delighted. And if you want to subscribe, please press the yellow logo.